Okay, so let's get right into it. A lot of people are using AI for, well, pretty simple stuff. But what if you could build a custom AI agent to run entire chunks of your business? No, we're not talking about those basic chatbots. We're talking about building a truly powerful copilot that can automate a massive content machine. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can do it.
So let me just ask you this. Are you using AI to answer simple questions? Or are you using it to run a content business with 2.5 million followers? Because that's the jump we're about to make. We're going from a simple tool to a full-on AI agent, humming away on a Mac Mini, drafting tweets, managing projects, and even creating thumbnails.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to meet our AI copilot. Then, we'll lay the groundwork before building out the automated engine skill by skill. After that, we'll look at how to go from just giving orders to real collaboration. And then, at the end, you'll get the entire blueprint to build your very own.
First things first, let's meet this copilot. It's built on a framework called OpenClaw, which is basically an AI agent that you can download and run on your own machine. But the real power, the magic, comes from giving it skills. Think of these like simple instruction files you create that teach it how to do really complex jobs and even control other apps on your computer.
Now, before we get to the cool stuff, we have to lay the foundation. Don't worry, it's a super straightforward 3-step process to get your agent up and running.
All right, it really just comes down to these 3 things. First, you install it with one simple command in your terminal. Second, you hook up a messaging app. And seriously, just use Telegram. Trust me on this one. It's the easiest by far, and it gives you access to crucial commands like /reset or /kill if things go sideways. And finally, you find its workspace folder. This is where the fun starts, because you can edit its core files, its identity, its mission, and even what's called its soul, which dictates its whole personality and what it obsesses over.
Okay, with that foundation in place, we can finally start building the engine. And this isn't about just one skill. It's about combining a few core skills that all work together to create this seamless system for everything from coming up with ideas all the way to getting your content out there.
The first and honestly the most critical skill is Notion. You got to think of this as your agent's brain, its external memory. By giving the agent API access to your Notion, it can read, write, and organize everything on its own. I mean, you can literally just tell it, hey, create a draft for a new video script. And boom, a new page just pops up in the right notebook, all ready for you to check out.
Next up, your agent needs to be able to learn, right? Well, the transcript extractor skill is like its research arm. It uses an outside service called the Super Data API, and with it, it can pull down the full transcripts from videos on YouTube, Instagram, you name it. This is so powerful for seeing what your competitors are doing, or, as we're about to see, for teaching the agent your own unique style.
And to close that loop, we've got the typefully skill. You can think of this as the agent's megaphone. So after a script is all done in Notion, this skill taps into the typefully API, letting the agent draft and schedule posts to go straight to places like Twitter. It completely automates that final crucial step, distribution.
Okay, so it can research and it can post. That's cool. But the big question is, how does it learn to sound like you instead of just some generic, boring AI? Well, the answer is all about combining the skills we just talked about.
This is where the real magic happens. So here's how you do it. You use that transcript extractor skill to feed the agent transcripts of your own most successful videos. It just sits there and analyzes your tone, your pacing, the hooks you use. Then, when you ask it to draft a new script over in Notion, it uses all that knowledge as its guide. It's not guessing anymore. It's actually writing in your voice because it has studied what works for you.
But hey, great content isn't just about words, right? A really powerful content engine needs some visual intelligence too.
So 2 more skills really complete this engine. The Google Images skill is pretty simple, but super effective. It just uses an API to find relevant images and stick them right into your Notion scripts. Now, the Nana Banana scale is a bit more advanced, and it's awesome. You can tell it to go find the top-performing YouTube thumbnails about a topic, and then replace the creator's face with your own, instantly creating a visual mood board for your designer. Pretty wild.
So everything we've talked about up to this point is still pretty reactive. You give a command and the agent does it. But this next skill we're going to look at, it fundamentally changes that whole relationship. It shifts us from just giving commands to, well, true collaboration.
And this slide just perfectly illustrates the difference. A reactive AI just sits there waiting for you. You are the one carrying the mental load, always having to push the project forward, but a proactive AI, it takes control. It actually pushes you forward and makes sure the job gets done. It's a total game changer. And this is the take the wheel skill. The moment you trigger it, the agent's whole personality just flips. It becomes this urgent, relentless project manager. Its only goal is to drive a task to completion by hitting you with a series of critical, focused questions, one right after the other.
So here's what that actually feels like. You just say, take the wheel. Instantly, the agent's tone changes. It'll ask you just one critical question at a time, and it puts the most important part in all caps, so you literally can't miss it. It'll keep reframing the question relentlessly until it gets the clarity it needs, and your only job is to answer. The entire burden of project management is just lifted right off your shoulders. So, after building and using all of these skills, what are the big principles we can walk away with? What's the actual blueprint for creating AI agents that really work?
This is probably the single most important lesson, and it's completely counterintuitive. The goal is not to build one super agent with 1,000 skills. That just leads to chaos and unpredictability. The real goal is to build focused agents that are tailored for specific, predictable results.
So here it is, the final blueprint. Number 1, build specialized agents. Make one for content, one for hiring, another for marketing. Number 2, have them all use a shared context, like that Notion brain we talked about, so they can actually work together. 3, focus on predictable outputs, not a mess of general skills. And finally, number 4, embrace proactivity. Use skills like take the wheel to turn your agents from passive tools into active partners.
So let's wrap this all up. The key isn't to build one giant chaotic agent, it's to build a team of specialists. One for content, one for marketing, whatever you need. Give them a shared brain, like a Notion workspace, so they can all learn and collaborate. Then make sure their skills are designed for specific, predictable outcomes. And maybe most importantly, use proactive skills, like take the wheel, to turn them from simple tools into true partners that push you forward. So now that you've got the blueprint, what's the first specialized agent you are going to build?